with some ageism, everybody. That's right. This is really fundamentally, and I'm not going to be the ageist one here, just for reference. I just want to make that clear. But there's a lot of ageism going on in the United States. What is ageism? It's when people abuse and harass elderly people just because they're elderly. And personally, I think that it's kind of disgusting. So here we have, after calls to resign. They want her to resign because she's old. Can you believe that? Feinstein seeks judiciary replacement. So they're begging for her to resign because she's old. There's no other reason, of course. And she is buckling. She is capitulating to the pressure. And she is going to do a half resign. She's not going to resign from the Senate, I think. But she's going to seek a replacement. Now, I just want to say this much. Is this really ageism? Now, I'm not saying everybody that's got dementia deserves it. I'm not saying that at all. But I just want to ask you a question. Have you ever met someone who's Dianne Feinstein's age and doesn't have dementia? I mean, hey, there's all kinds of scientific research that's coming out that says all kinds of things, from the food you eat, the amount of exercise you get, the amount of travel you do, all kinds of things contribute to dementia. So I say this. Let's calm down with the ageist rhetoric and just say, this bitch gave herself dementia because she doesn't know how to eat food properly, and therefore she should get the fuck out of Congress. That's my alternative hypothesis here. But also we can go with the fact that she's old as hell. Recuperating U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein of California asked Wednesday to be temporarily replaced on the Judiciary Committee shortly after two House Democrats called on her to resign after her extended absence from Washington. In a statement, the long-serving Democratic senator said a recovery from a case of shingles, she disclosed in early March had been delayed because of complications. She provided no date for her to return to the Senate and said she had asked Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to ask the Senate to allow another Democratic senator to serve in her committee seat. I intend to return as soon as possible once my medical team advises me. I love that. So someone else is not a permanent replacement. She just wants someone else to sit for her so that everyone stops yelling and yapping in her ear. And then she's like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back. The oldest member of Congress at 89. And, yep, so there you go. Ro Khanna's talking about it. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm all done with Ro Khanna. You know, this guy, a lot of people flirt with this guy. Is he a good member of Congress? Is he a member of the squad? Is he progressive? I say, fuck all those questions. I throw him in the bin with the rest of these guys, so I don't give a shit about what he has to say. Feinstein, he wrote, I don't give a shit about that. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said Thursday from Ireland, where President Joe Biden was visiting, that Biden First Lady Jill Biden wished Senator Feinstein the very best of speedy recovery! And, so there you go. So, anyway, that problem is temporarily alleviated. But also, let's just talk about a little bit more about dementia. You know, again, I said some hot takes in the chat earlier. Obviously, I don't believe that anyone who actually gets dementia deserves it. But I do think it's interesting that, like, we can have a job where you very clearly can't do your job, and yet you get it anyway, and it pays, like, several $100,000 a year. Like, just imagine this scenario. Like, you're walking into Wendy's, right? You know, you work at Wendy's. Maybe you work at Bojangles. Fuck if I know. So you're walking into work at goddamn fucking Bojangles, right? And you're just standing over the fucking, like, chicken fryer or whatever the fuck they got there. I don't know what kind of shit they got at Bojangles. I've never worked there. So you're standing in front of the chicken fryer and you're like, and then your boss comes up and is like, are you okay? Like, why aren't you working? And you're like, who are you? Now, all the sympathy in the world, guess what? You would probably lose your job. I mean, the boss maybe the boss is going to take care of you, give you a nice severance package, but guess what? You're going to fucking lose your job. But we live in this world where the most powerful people in the world can have dementia and also can just be in the hospital for fucking like 6 weeks and nothing happens. You know? Like, isn't that a little fucked up? Like, imagine this. Now, here's a better analogy. Instead of working at Bojangles, frying up some chicken, which you shouldn't be doing. Chicken is bad for you. But imagine you're a train car operator, right? And you know how like they have like that co-pilot scenario? Well, some of them do, you know, regulations these days, some of them don't. Well, imagine your fucking co-pilot who's like a rookie, you know, this is like his second or third shift ever, walks up to you and says, "How you doing, Jack?" Because your name is Jack in this scenario. And then you turn around and you look at this motherfucker and you're like, where am I? I don't know about you, but I think everyone would be better off if you were not operating a fucking train car. So I don't know about this whole let's let people that are very clearly incapable of doing their job do their job anyway because we voted for them. Like, what? Wait, what? Okay, so we vote for them, so that means they can just dick around and fucking do nothing for fucking 6 years because we voted for them once under a false fucking pretense. I just like, what the fuck? You know? Like, why? I mean, I don't know. That's why I say this. Every member of Congress should have to pass a cognition test. And I also don't think that has anything to do with ageism. I think that most Republicans, especially the younger Republicans, would also fail a cognition test. So I just throwing that out there. But again, isn't everything, you know, just every once in a while, I got to really remind you all that we're living in like some reality TV show type shit. You know, like one of the most important jobs in the world, and we let people with dementia run this shit. We let Ronald Reagan run this country with dementia, and look at the damage that did. But we voted for him. We can't do what's better for the country because you know, she won that election. So we got to make sure that everyone suffers for 6 years because old Dianne won an election. Can't be abusive to the elders. Can't be ageist. You know? But like, fuck me, man. I like this shit just... It's so obviously ridiculous that I can't believe anyone takes this shit seriously. Can you believe people that actually go like, oh, the senator, yeah, right? Like, Jesus Christ. God damn.